Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Alatra TV Middle East. My name's Alina, and my co-host today is Olga. Hi, Olga. How are you?
Hello, Alina. It's a very good day for our stream. Thank
And we
you.
have a very international team today. So Olga is in Ukraine, I'm in Italy, and our special guest is in Netherlands. And in today's live conversation, we will talk about the model of society that each and every person would feel happy and secure. Do we really need to change the format of our society? What can every human being do in order to change from the format of thinking and acting as a consumer to a format of really creating something good and great for every single human being in this world? And of course, which conditions should be created in such a society for a comprehensive development and personal fulfillment of every member of such a society? What makes us human, really? Why are we different from animals? And what kind of priorities should be in the society where true humans live? But before we start, I'd like to address our dear viewers. Please don't hesitate to share your vision of a creative society and invite your friends. And just if you decide to share with broadcast and your social media networks, don't forget to use two hashtags. The first hashtag is Alatra Unites, and the second hashtag is Creative Society. Also, for those who don't know about this project and maybe you've joined us for the first time today, I would like to explain that Alatra International Public Movement has launched a unique global project. It's called Creative Society, and people from over 180 countries of the world are conducting social surveys to find out how people envision the society where everyone is happy. And basically, do we really want to live in such a society? So I pass the floor to Olga and we continue our show.
During this unique project, we are testing a theory of six handshakes. According to this theory, all people on the earth are connected with just maximum six handshakes. We invited our first guests to our virtual studio about half a year ago. They invited their friends after that, and so on. And this is how our project exists till nowadays, with hundreds of streams and thousands of guests being interviewed. And today we continue this tradition, and our new guest is Rachel Smets, a TEDx speaker, clarity coach, author of bestsellers, YouTuber, and a global goodwill ambassador. Hello, dear Rachel. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Thanks a lot for coming. Rachel, I would like to start from my first question. I can see that you put a lot of effort to motivate other people around you. Please, could you share what motivates you in your life and how you came to what you are now in your work
Mm.
and personality?
Thank you so much. I'd love to share that. And yes, it's true. I'm happy you're seeing that. I love to motivate people. I love to inspire people. And it's what I do through all my YouTube videos as well, like you guys. And I love doing that because I feel so sad when I see people feeling miserable or when see people feeling stuck in their lives. And what made me doing what I'm doing today is the thought of growing old and looking back upon my life and thinking, what if I had done the things I wanted to do? And it's that sense of regret. And I actually made a video of that yesterday. It's like the pain of regret is the biggest pain there is in life. The pain of regret is poison, and there is no bigger pain and fear than regret. And for me, it's what drove me to completely shift my life. I was stuck in a corporate job that didn't fulfill me, didn't feel meaningful. I really didn't like working for a boss, and I wanted more freedom. And I just kept thinking, okay, what if I'm older? And they've done also so many research and studies about people at their older age looking back upon their life, and then what comes out of that is that so many people have regrets, and it's the biggest pain they have because they're like, oh, I wish I had done the things I really wanted. but instead I did what was expected from me. I did the jobs that I was supposed to do. I did it to make other people proud. But what you do for yourself. And my mission here is that I want to inspire people to actually figure out what is it that makes you really happy, and then take the steps and do it. And I would be the last person on earth to say, take the leap of faith and follow your heart and jump, And I really hated people telling me that, because it's not realistic. I did not just quit my job and leave. And you see so many people now like, oh, just quit your job and do what you love. And wait a minute, you need money. You need, so I'm helping people to take the leap, but take it with a parachute. Jump with a parachute. Don't jump without a parachute. So I'm creating the escape plan. Like, okay, what is it that you're going to do? And let's take the steps, make a plan and take the steps towards that. But then at least while you're taking the steps, you do something that fulfills you, that is meaningful to you, that is like, like your project. It's amazing. And the way you work at it, it's work, but it's so meaningful. It fulfills you. It's inspiring, and you motivate other people. And so that's, yeah, a little bit longer than I was supposed to, but yeah, that's really what I want. I feel so much happier now than when I was doing a job and working for a boss. And there's nothing wrong with working for a boss. Some people love it, and I totally respect that. I'm just saying, if you're feeling miserable right now, whether you're 30 or 40 or 50, it's never too late. You're never too old. And so stop making excuses and start taking the steps to actually create that future and that happiness that you deserve.
Absolutely. And your story is sounds very similar to mine. In my life, I also fulfilled all the expectations of the society, everything that people expected from me, like parents and society. I tried to be the best of myself for everyone else, absolutely. And I succeeded in it, but it doesn't bring the inner happiness. And every 2-3 years of my life, I was kind of assessing what I have done, and I still had this feeling I did really a lot, but there is something very much important that I had not yet done. And I was always searching for these questions and this inner freedom to do something which will make me really happy, or maybe not to do something at all for a short period of time, because sometimes we are in the situation, then we need to take a pause, that we need to stop, to look around us, and really, to come back to this resourceful state of every human being. And this emptiness, we run, it's kind of face of our society. It's a reality that we are all living today. And then we talk about another format of a society, which we call a creative society. I believe that in such a society, there should be a lot of opportunities for people to grow and to develop in the field there he or she would be happy. Rachel, how do you envision such a society from the point of view of development?
I just want to, because I was making a note when you said something, I just want to go back and, just one point that you made, which is really, really important when you talk about creative society and creativity within yourself, is creativity comes with solitude. It's a quote that I'm taking from Robin Sharma, but it's what you say is like, you needed to take a pause. And I think taking a pause and taking time with yourself and being in solitude, because now we're so busy and there's so much noise around us, and there's the social media and there's all these things, and we just get so distracted, and we try to achieve things or do things for other people, but we're not true to ourselves because we're lost in all of that noise. And I think to be, again, your creative self is take that pause, take the time in solitude, be alone, be by yourself. It's the best place that you can be to actually be more creative, get through to yourself, go within yourself and know, okay, what is it that I really want, without pleasing all the other people around us, without trying to compare ourselves or do what all these others on social media are doing, right? So I think that word solitude, creativity and solitude, it just goes hand in hand. And I really encourage people to take that solitude and be alone. And being alone, like, I love being alone. People still see it as something negative. No, it's not. I
It's a
really encourage
privilege
people.
in our times.
Exactly, exactly. Like cut out all the noise and just be by yourself and be alone. It's amazing. It's amazing. Um, so when it comes to answering your question about, that creative society, I mean, yeah, it's a dream that more and more people are willing to see that it's possible to create that life that is their calling, that is their passion, that is something that makes them feel meaningful and fulfilled, and a society where it's not you must do this and you have to do this and you put everybody in boxes. No, like let everybody be free to do what they really want to do and what they're actually good in doing, and what makes them fulfilled and happy.
What is the role of the society in this process? Because nowadays many people, they don't follow their wishes, they don't follow their roads, even in choosing the profession, because of some tendencies of the society. Like being a lawyer, you can have a good house, you can have a good car, your children can go to a good school. But for example, being an artist, maybe you will never be able to pay your apartment. So what is the role of the society in order to provide the necessities of people to be free in their choices of what they do?
Yeah, it's a difficult question, and I still, the way I see it, it's the way you lead your life and the way you make changes in your life. It comes from yourself, and I think the only one who can really decide to make a change is yourself. Like we are all responsible for our own lives, and I think that that's number one. Like make the decision for yourself and choose to take the responsibility to make a change in your life. But like you say, the society does, create those titles and those labels, and we feel that pressure that we have to climb the corporal ladder and we have to do this. And for me, it was really breaking away from that, making that decision to not look at all those labels and those titles and not live a life because it's expected from me, but take a look at the life that is meant for me. Like, why am I born here? What is meant for me to do, instead of looking at what's expected from me? But I think it goes a bit hand in hand in a sense, because it's and that's why it's so difficult to answer, because yes, it's a choice you have to make, but if you continuously bounce against rules from the society, it's pretty hard. But what works for me is also, who are you surrounding yourself with? Like the people around you. For me, the longest I stayed stuck in feeling miserable and unhappy was also because I was surrounded by people that kept me in my comfort bubble. And it's those people that kept me, like, and when they meant it well, like my parents and my family, and they meant it really well, but they wanted me to be safe and to stay in a comfort zone. Whereas if you want to be free and to explore and to discover, you have to step out of your comfort zone. And so I was looking more for people, and maybe that's where society comes in again. Like the more I surrounded myself with people that are stepping out of their comfort zone, that are daring to take risks, that are, changing, when that's where I got my motivation and my inspiration from. That's also why I want to inspire and motivate other people, because I want to be that person to pull you out of that comfort bubble and make you do the things that you really enjoy doing. And so I surrounded myself more with those people. So if we could create more of a culture in a society where that's okay and encouraged to step out of your comfort zone, I think yeah, that would be amazing. So if more people like us are talking and doing these, shows and talking about this, I think we're spreading, like your society too. It's like, I think you're spreading that message, and I think that's the way forward.
Thank you, Rachel. These are very good thoughts. And it is so important to understand that sometimes people are trying to care about us, but in this care, they are limiting us.
Yes.
So how would be nice if we were abroad with these thoughts from our childhood? And what do you think? How much is important to educate our children from the small age, spiritually, morally, and how much time should we spend on this?
That's a really good question. And funny enough, I had an interview yesterday where I was a guest speaker, and she it was we were talking about children and upbringing. And I'm going to be really honest, I don't have children, but I do know when I look back at my childhood, I was really kept into that comfort bubble, and I was raised in a more negative upbringing, let's say. And I love my parents to bits. Okay, I don't want to say anything, about that, but it's just that it was more of a negative environment, whereas it was like more of, okay, what can you do better? Like, not enough love and being proud, but always like, okay, it's okay, but what can you do better? Like, yes, but you could also do this. Yes, but this. Yes, but there was always a but. And so I would really encourage, when it comes to upbringing children, let them express themselves, be proud of their ideas, be proud of their creativity. I was just writing a post about, when we're a child, we are limitless. In fact, we're born limitless. Like, when you're a child, it's like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow old? It's like, oh, I want to be a pilot. I want to be this. I want to be, all of these things. Why? Because we are born limitless and the world is open for us. But what happens through the years and through all the people around us and through the society is, like, we create boundaries, like we create that comfort bubble, like, wait, don't do this, and that's not safe, and that's a risk, and stay here and stay here and stay safe. And of course, everybody means well, but it means also that your bubble, your limitless world, could become so limited that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to step out of there, right? So encourage, kids, like, be creative, like go and play and allow to dream. And I think that is really important.
Yeah, what an interesting example, because right at the moment I'm at the point there I understand the importance of creativity and inner freedom. I'm trying, to break some patterns inside myself which were implemented into me during my life. But at the same time, I'm a parent, and I myself observe me, being this helicopter mom, because these thoughts of the fear. Okay, what happens if they don't get a good education? But what happens if they don't go to a good university? Or what happens if they're not good enough in English? And or what happens if they don't pass their math exam? Or what a disaster, And at the end of the day, I understand, I have already these understandings, personal understandings. I have this knowledge already, I have my own practical experience, but I still, cannot get free of these conditions of life. This is why, for me, this project Creative Society is so much important, because I see that if we change the format of the society, that doesn't matter which sphere of life we take, we can really benefit from it and get more freedom and, develop. Because this development, personal development, going out of these boxes is something which we all need nowadays. And I don't even talk about people who basically they are struggling for a piece of bread and a glass of water, and that's it's a great shame of our society in general. But for you, Rachel, a creative society, how do you envision it? Can you give your description? There you would feel happy, there you and your beloved ones would be, I don't know, secure, will develop.
Yeah, I think it comes back to what I said earlier, like, have the freedom to express yourself, have the freedom to accept. Like, I think it comes down to not judging anybody's decision and not judging anybody's choices. For me, freedom is traveling the world, and I don't want to be judged by that. And for other people, it's maybe working a 9-to-5 job, and for other people, it's creating art. And it's okay. Like, everything is fine. Like, whatever your decision is, whatever creativity means to you, whatever makes you happy, don't judge it. Just allow it, accept it. I think, yeah, that's brilliant.
What you are talking now, I feel like you are speaking actually about inner love, which you can provide to anybody, to children, to parents, to spousers, to friends, and so on. If we all could just provide this support, this love without any conditions, how much easier our life would be. And could you tell which place love takes in your life and how much it is important for you to feel it and to provide it?
Yeah, it's a really, really good point because I have to tell you, my story is that I used to be really, really shy and really very, very low confidence. And people that don't know me, I mean, that just know me now, how I am now, and I've done TEDx, stages and all of that, and my YouTube, and it's like, oh, you're so confident, and it just goes so easy for you. But the truth is, no. Like I am, more of an introvert, and I am still somehow shy, and so what I want to say is that I've learned that. And how do I learn that? That comes back to that self-love that you're mentioning, Olga, and I'm so happy you're bringing that up, because that was a really, really tough thing for me to learn, because I wasn't used to that. I was a big number one people pleaser, like doing everything and saying yes to everything and not daring to say no and not daring to speak up because of fear of what are other people going to think of me? What are other people going to say? And until I learned that I am okay. Like, I don't need somebody else telling me. I don't need the approval. I need to be okay with myself first, like love myself first. And I wrote a book about confidence because it's an important chapter in there, like the self-love. And I remember how I asked a lot of people, like, yeah, but people were telling me, Rachel, I have to love yourself. I'm like, yeah, how do I do that? Like, I had no idea. So I kept asking other people all the time, like, how do you love yourself? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And it's this inner process. And I'm going to give this really silly exercise, but it worked for me. Like, if somebody's struggling with that, I just looked myself in the mirror every day, several times a day, and just, hey, Rachel, yeah, you're okay, and I love myself. And I just, you're okay. And I would like literally just tap myself on the shoulder or just give myself a hug. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, and I felt ridiculous when I did it in the beginning, but I kept doing that. And here comes the thing that I talk about a lot. It's that mindset. Like, the more you repeat something and the more it comes into your thoughts, the more you feel it, and then it becomes a behavior, right? Like thoughts, feelings, behavior. And so, yes, I had to, repeat it over and over again so that it became an unconscious, belief. And then I also felt the love. And then I could like act in the sense of, okay, I'm good enough. I love myself. And then I could start sharing my message and inspire and motivate people. And I don't focus anymore about what will other people think. No, I want to share a message. I want to help people. I want to support people. I want to motivate people. That's my message. And it's not anymore about, ooh, what are, the fears and all of that, but the truth is, it starts with loving yourself. So I think it's a really important point. So thank you so much for bringing that up, Olga.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your opinion. You see how much it is important to know this about yourself, that you have a right to love yourself and to get this love from a society, from people who surround you. And what is really ridiculous is that nowadays society makes us think that we are not normal, that we need to do something to feel us human, to feel the privilege to get something, and so on. But actually, we have this right just by being born. And this is so simple. What if all people understand that? We would really live in creative society already. And
A
to your
society of
mind,
judgment, right? A society of judgment there. You always have to struggle to mean something.
Yep.
yeah, but actually, we don't have to prove that we are humans. We are humans already just from nature. And to your mind, what connects all people in the world, in spite of our nationality, religion, social status, color of skin? What is so common in us?
Wow, that's a profound question. It's funny because I'm actually a cultural expert and I'm fascinated and I teach cultural diversity. So I'm always looking
Really?
into,
We didn't know
yeah.
about it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
no,
pity.
I didn't add that to my bio, but yeah, it's something I do, and so I teach that around the world as well, and it's just it's also why I love traveling because I'm always looking out for other differences, and um, so now I'm thinking about all the differences that unite us, and I'm thinking also about a quote that I mentioned a while ago, where like Um, I don't want to talk about differences. I mean, yes, there are differences. Let me put it this way. Cultures are really different, and that's why there's so much miscommunication going on and frustration going on and all of that. But I really want to, when it comes down to the judgment that you were talking about, but I would like to use the word curiosity, because that's usually the message that I want to give to people. Like, no matter where in the world you are, and now we're just one click away from any country anywhere in the world, and if you could, be curious about the other person, I think that really unites us, because that's what I do when I travel into a new country and I meet new people all the time, and I arrive somewhere where I don't know anything or anyone. The only mind I have is I'm curious. I'm curious about what foods they have, what dress they do, what language they speak. I'm curious. I'm always curious. So, it's not about, oh, they do that differently than I do. No, I do some things different than they do. It makes no sense, but it's like, be curious about the other person, whether you're actually in that country or just online and just looking at someone or having a conversation. Just always be curious about the other person. I think that's the best way to build relationships around the world.
And did you manage to find that universal grain which unites all people during your travel?
The word that comes to mind is relationships. Like,
Relationship.
yeah, just connect with people, like really connect with people. Yeah,
So we all try to connect, to be together. Finally, we try to be together
yeah, yeah. I believe that. Yeah, for
in the
sure.
healthy conditions, right? In the
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
conditions, we are happy to be together.
Yeah, totally. Because I mean, I live alone. I'm single. I love being alone. I'm creative when I'm alone. I love working alone. But every single day, I need to connect with somebody. I need to connect with a person, whether it's online or offline. But it's that connection. And it reminds me of a video I made about, why, there is no such thing as loneliness. We just need to feel that connection. And the connection could be also connecting within yourself and connecting with other people. But no matter what, it's always about connecting.
Oh, during this pandemic time, how much all of us, we have realized it, right? All that
Yeah,
you mentioned now, how
yeah,
important it is
yeah.
to be in peace with yourself, how important it is to be connected with each other. We could never realize it before, but sometimes the worst situations which can arise, they give us a lot of understandings.
Mm.
Thanks. Thank you for sharing this. Let's come to the topic of the foundations of the creative society. I mentioned already previously that the creative society can be built everywhere in the world by peaceful means if we take these pillars, 8 foundations of the creative society, and if we implement them to the life of all people in the world, then we will live in a creative society. And for our viewers, I would like to I know that you, Rachel, you had a chance to read the article, The Foundations of the Creative Society and the Stages of its Constructions there. They are described, but for our viewers, I would like to say that please don't hesitate to visit alatriunites.com, and you will find a lot of information about this project and the detailed description of 8 foundations of the Creative Society. And I really encourage you to do so, because during such a short show, such a short interview, we cannot introduce you all the details, but there are so many things to be discussed by us people all together, how we can do it, how we can really create conditions of transforming our society really to a creative one. And so the 8 foundations, you just saw them on the screen. They are human life, human freedom, human safety, transparency and openness of information for all, creative ideology, development of personality, justice and equality, and self-governing society. And they are just the titles, because under each of the titles there is a description what it means in the creative way, not in the way of the populism, because these titles, they are very often being used on different political even platforms. But talking about the true human sense of these foundations, the explanation is given in this article. And today we would like to introduce the first and the second one. Maybe Olga, you introduce the first one, like this we can share them.
Sure. Thank you, Alina. The first foundation of human life. Human life is the highest value. Life of any human has to be protected as one's own. The goal of society is to ensure and guarantee the value of each human's life. There is not and never can be anything else more valuable than a human's life. If one human is valuable, then all people are valuable.
Oh, thank you so much. And the second one is human freedom. And every human is born with the right to be a human being. All people are born free and equal. Everyone has the right to choose. There can be no one and nothing on earth above a human, his freedom and rights. Oh, how much I like it. And the implementation of human rights and freedom must not violate the rights and freedoms of others. And I know that Rachel, she told us before the show that the second foundation was something very close to her. Rachel, can you share with us, please, what you think about it?
Yes, it is. The word freedom just stands out for me, and I agree with you, because that's what you said before the show, that the first and the second really, really are very tied to one another. And so freedom is something I talk about a lot, because freedom is the one thing that I longed for. When I was still working in my corporate job, I just, the only thing that I could think of is, oh, freedom, freedom. But then afterwards, I started, working with, and what I do is I coach clients, and I talk about freedom. But then I realized the more I coach clients, freedom has a different meaning for everybody. And so freedom for me was, I don't want to work for a boss. I want to be my own boss. I want to do what I want, when I want, where I want, because I want to be able to travel the world and just make my own decisions. Stop asking for permission when I need to buy a pen or anything. You in the corporate, you need all these signatures and permissions and all of that. And I thought, oh, no. I felt trapped. And so freedom was, cut those chains and just, be my own boss and do all the things that I want to do. So for me, that's freedom. But then the more I analyzed it and I talked to people, there's freedom of time, there's freedom of speech, there is freedom of relationship, there's so many different kinds of freedom. And again, I realized for some people, freedom is working a job from 9 to 5, knowing exactly what to do, having the same routine, going in at 9, going out at 5, and that to them is freedom. So I love this value and these foundations that you have, because it's really important for everyone to define freedom for yourself. And nobody can do that for you. And then the other word that stands out in your definition here is, you have to choose. It's that choice. So make up for yourself and define for yourself what that freedom means to you, like really personal to you. And then from there, start making choices towards that freedom. And again, it comes back to what I said earlier. You are responsible to make those choices. Nobody's going to make the choice for you unless you make that decision and you make that choice. So for me, it was like, okay, I know what I want. I want to be my own boss. I want to travel the world. I want to, do all those things I love. That to me is freedom. Okay, now I'm going to start making a plan. I'm going to make the choices so that I can go towards that freedom. And then finally, I was able to quit my corporate, and now I'm living that life of freedom, what freedom means for me. So that's my message about freedom.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Rachel.
trapped, yes, trapped. This word, it really reflects what all people feel nowadays. Like honestly, if you ask them how you feel, all people feel somehow trapped
Mm,
with obligations, with expectations,
mhm,
with different kind of obligations, also financial obligations, to be at this day, at this hour, at this place, and not 5 minutes late because something terrible will happen. And what's a pressure over each of us
mm.
in this type of society, in this format of the society.
Yeah, that's true. And Rachel, how in your mind we can spread the information about creative society more efficiently to inform about that more people in the world?
Oh, I think what you're doing now is brilliant because you invite speakers like me. And so what I'm going to do now is share all of this, with my, audience and with my viewers and share it on my, videos and platforms and social media. And so I think that's really, really important. And um, again, now that I know more about you, I will be sharing that so that my audience picks it up and watches you too. So I think what you're doing is amazing. I don't think um, yeah, YouTube is a great channel to do it for. So the more people you can reach, and the more videos and the more speakers you have, and yeah, I think you're doing amazing. So I'd be super happy to share more of your work as well. And I think you're doing really well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we started these interviews about a year and a half ago, and we know by this moment, like what's amazing, it's an open, huge global research which is open and it's available for every person who can check the Allatra TV YouTube channels that
Hmm.
I confirm all people want to be happy.
Hmm.
I have never seen any guest of our show who said, "Oh, I like the way it is now. No, I'm happy, and other people are not happy, so I don't care." No, okay, in my house there is no war, so I don't care that there are wars around us. These people, they don't exist. All people want to be happy, and all people wish happiness to people around them. And that's very special about humans, that we want all of us to be happy.
Mm.
And I know that still we are at the beginning of our journey, and we would really love to ask people also if they have questions about creative society, because we have questions, and we constantly, have open discussions and how it will be in the creative society, and these and these and these. So, dear viewers, and Rachel, and also your audience, your viewers, don't hesitate to ask us questions, because by giving answers to these questions to ourselves, first of all, we can finally, fulfill this understanding of what creative society is.
Mhm.
And the last question I would like to ask you, Rachel, today would be: would you love to live in a creative society?
What do you mean? What do I like to leave?
Yeah, would you like to live in a creative society?
Oh, live. Yes, yes, yes. Would I like, I thought leave? Yeah, yeah. Would I like to? Of course, of course. Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, we talked about the freedom. We talked about the freedom. No judgment, freedom. Freedom of what it means to you. And yeah, when I first met you and I read your website, and it's like it was screaming like, yeah, yeah, yes. So yeah, I can't say anything else. Then yes.
Yeah, it was just to confirm our social survey, this question.
Pro forma.
I passed.
Absolutely. Yes, this is, just because, yeah, of course, we all want to live in a good society, in the healthy atmosphere of mutual support and understanding. And thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your story, your opinion, giving some keys and tools to our viewers, to our audience, because also we inspire each other, we empower each other, we help
Yes.
each other, we
Hmm.
need each other.
So
Yeah,
such beautiful words. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll surely speak again. Thank you.
everybody is important. That's true. Thank you all for our today's conversation. Thank you, Alina. Thank you, our dear guest. And I would like to remind that to join creative projects of the ALLATRA International Public Movement, please visit our website, allatraunites.com, where you will see the red button, Join. All you need is just to fulfill a very short and easy form, and this is how you can join our project of Creative Society. And if you want to participate in our live conversation, please send your emails to uae@allatraunites.com. You can also participate in conversations on Allatra Radio, so you don't have to show yourself, or send your ideas of Creative Society to info@allatraunites.com. Share our broadcasts in social networks using two hashtags, Creative Society and ALLATRA Unites. Leave your comments below and also join the Six Handshakes initiative. After all, the more people find out the possibility of creating a creative society, the faster we can build it on this earth. Thank you all very much, and see you soon on ALLATRA TV Middle East.
Thank you, everyone. And just the very last question for Rachel would be, who would you nominate for our show to continue the initiative of Six Handshakes?
Hmm. Can I didn't think about this. Can I think about it and let you know?
Yes, absolutely. We stay in
Thank
touch,
you.
and very soon we will announce the name to you, dear viewers.
Promise.
Yeah. Have a great
Thank you,
day, everyone.
Rachel. Have a good day. Goodbye.